already cracking them and pouring them?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
You
I
know
haven't
they're
seen
out
it.
there.
I don't think it's special. But it's a beer.
Same. I have a double dry hopped IPA, Imperial IPA.
I just have a little wet hot guy.
Oh God, what is happening?
A little wet hot pail.
You know they're out there, don't you?
That little wet hot pail. Nope. You stopped the beer store at home, isn't it?
Yes, I did. Yeah, have you ever had other half? This is Digital Vibrations. Yeah, it's double dry hopped, Imperial IPA, 8%. That's all you get. That's the whole label. From other half, they're out of Bloomfield here in New York. Wolf's Ridge? I think I've had Wolf's Ridge before. Is that Canadian?
No, it's they're out of what is it?
Oh, Ohio.
Just a little breakfast.
Light and hazy this one is. There's pain on my finger, don't mind me.
Kind of see the bottom of it.
And then cheers for you. Oh, that's fantastic. This is a rather boozy IPA.
Those are nice.
Where do you come from?
Citrusy,
And now
but
you're
boozy.
back.
I know, Dixon. You can hear me.
Yeah, like, we know.
You know they're out there.
I'm glad.
It's
and
it's
thank
kind of
you
the cold
for letting
open
me know.
almost. You can hear us.
It's
in the
nice
background.
to know that they can hear us, though.
Yeah, that's
At least we know our mics and everything are working.
right. We're not gonna have the stupid echoing thing like last time because I forgot to put fucking headphones and stuff.
You know they're out there, don't you?
Oh, you wore them this time. Look at you go. You are so on top of things. I am not. I've had a day, man. I was supposed to read through all of our things today, and I had a day. So everybody's just gonna have to bear with me. My patience is wearing thin, and I just wanna scream at legislators, Congress, and House Democrats right now.
You ready to do this?
Thank you, Seamus. We know. Yo, hot everybody out there.
In the history of television, great men and women have brought us up-to-the-minute news as it happens. From the moon landing to the dangers of secondhand smoke. Sometimes
Love that everybody
they
keeps
even
saying they
make
can hear us.
laugh. The one thing that stays the same, everyone wants to know,
Waiting to know if they
what's
can
in
see
the news.
us.
From the Voss News Network, your hosts, Poonsauce McNasty, and to give the show some credibility, Logan Exhales. And now,
Just to be that
back
one.
to the studio.
Wait, hold on. I was gonna do it too.
Oh, do it.
Nope, I already did it. That. Hey.
See, I have a snazzy photo.
Oh my god, I have my government name too on. What the hell? Hold on, I gotta fix this.
Oh, government name?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
What is this? Your first day?
Fuck.
Fucking government name.
Shut up, Duchess.
Everybody
What?
want to say hi to Jay? Oh God,
Well,
in the
bright
light.
What's going
You
on?
guys just all saw the light.
Yeah, we saw the light and they can see us now. We tried to be sneaky and turn our cameras off, but it didn't work. And I found out I was in my government name, which can't be done. It's like this is. Am I new at this? I don't know.
I tell ya.
But
man,
what is going on,
first day.
everybody?
Listen, everybody's got to have a first day, Corey.
I've
And
been
it's
doing
okay
it
if that's today.
I've been doing it for years now, though. So it's like, A couple of years at least now.
Well, I was trying to give you a good easy out here, but now you're
No.
just out of excuses.
That's fine, yeah.
What up, everybody?
Yeah, what's going on?
Good.
Welcome,
My
welcome,
camera.
welcome to another episode of What's in the News. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about this evening. Some good, some not, some pain in the ass, just pull our hair out kind of shit. But we're gonna get through it.
I think I
because
don't have much left to pull out.
Just don't
you
pull
know?
out your beard, because can't have that happening.
Okay.
Don't go.
Before we get going, let's talk about beards really quick, because the man sitting next to me had the audacity, the gall, the gumption to tell me that my beard is not as glorious in person as it is on camera.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You got some balls there, Duchess. You've got some big.
Bro, like I literally
Okay,
just about
so-
threw him out onto the cold New York streets.
First off, here's the thing, right? One, he barely fucking washes and conditions it, right?
I wash and
And then
what?
two, he never even fucking uses like beard oil or butter to condition it.
Bro,
So
I don't
it's
need
rough.
product. The
It's-
people who need
listen.
product are people who lack the glory that I have naturally.
So it's rough and untamed. And
Yes, like me.
So
I'm about to
told
say
him-
that's like the definition of Logan right there. So you
Yeah,
expect
bro.
anything
Like,
else.
how is any of this a negative thing?
Let's say Logan's a definition of rough and untamed. Let's be honest
Yeah.
here.
Like,
All right.
come on.
He's
man.
just going with the flow of his life, man. But what's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing? Yeah, like I said before Duchess was talking beards and shit. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this evening. It's some good stuff, some other good stuff involving bad stuff, because
I got paint on my finger, you guys.
no, he's
I just
not.
want
He's
to
not
flip
flicking
everyone
off
out.
the audience. Don't worry. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. And before we do that, wouldn't be a vape show without doing the buffets. And we actually have one more thing to add to our buffets. That's kind of drinkable alcoholic beverage, of course. Hold on, I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Fucking damn it. I had that during my review today. I was like, hold on, I gotta sneeze, and then it just
no.
goes away. This is the second time.
I didn't
today
really
that I've done
honestly
that.
think it would work on you, and I'm deeply sorry that I did it.
Oh god, and you just feel it right there. Oh.
Yep.
It's gonna come eventually, but yeah, we have some buffets to go through. I actually have more setups than I think this is an average amount of setups going. that
I
have.
tore like everything down the other day.
You had 5, and now you probably have 2.
I have 2.
Oh wow, I guessed correctly. Well, shit.
Yep.
But yeah,
I have 2.
we'll get yours out of the way first, since I have more than you, I think. So, what do you got? And add your little drinkable beverage.
Can you
got.
guess the first one? If
Yard
people
mod.
can't guess the first one, do you guys even know me?
Yard Mod 2.0.
Yard Mod 2.0. Aegis, whatever it is, with the Inikin slide on top. I've got some lemon berry, 10 milligram, mass whole vapors in there. And then next I've got the Gaia with the original Blotto sitting on top of that. Straw lights, 3 milligram. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful. What are you drinking on?
Oh, I have this beautifully light, almost orange juice colored, hazy Imperial IPA,
Looks
double dry
delicious.
hopped Imperial IPA from Other Half Brewing.
Other
They
Half
are
is legit.
right here out of New York. They are out of, I just read it, Bloomfield, New York.
Yeah.
And this is called Digital Vibrations.
Yeah, Other Half has some really good stuff. Really good stuff. I thought freaking Evil Twins out of New York too, if I remember correctly.
Have you ever had Three Heads?
I have not.
Okay, Three Heads Brewing is right out of Rochester.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Dope, dope, dope. Is that all you got?
That's it.
Okay.
That's
cool,
my
cool.
buffet.
I got a few things this evening. Let's see. We got the MK Regina with GT4S for Thai Fun. And inside there, I got some Pango from Transistor. Bringing out my Inner Vapor Swaggins on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Abyss with the BP Insider,
Mm-hmm.
Pioneer Insider, with some, let's see, we got some of that UC Testing Grounds, that Oven Drip PCCD, the pear cream cheese Danish in there. And then I got my old Cloudy Boy, my Death Wish Leviathan with the Violator on top.
That's a beautiful setup.
And inside of there, I got some of that shakedown from team of Frank and Atticus and Breeze Tones, and it's delicious. And then I'm drinking on this little, just a really simple wet hop pale with Comet hops from Noon Whistle, a little local brewery to me. Don't really get to drink a lot of wet hop stuff often, so when I have the opportunity to drink some, I take advantage of it. And this is hoppy beyond belief, and if you can see on the bottom, it's a dark hoppy.
I know a lot about beer, but I don't know enough about this process between wet hopped and dry hopped. Can you break that down simply?
So dry hopping is when they kind of pretty much it's kind of obviously it's dried and it turns into like the pellets that you would like a feed pellet kind of look. And that's when you would add that to either the boil or during the whirlpool stage. When it's during the boil, you're kind of getting that, trying to gain the IBUs in it to kind of add that natural bitterness to the beer. But then when you add hops during the whirlpool, you're just usually doing that for the flavor. And that's
when you're really gonna get that. Massive.
You're not getting the bitterness out of it. You're just getting the natural flavors of the hops out of it to kind of add the little extra oomph, and that's when it's doing the whirlpool. That's where it kind of creates the hop cone inside of the whirlpool, to where you drain everything out and put it into the fermenter. There's just like a cone of like baby vomit looking stuff sitting in the center. Then
the difference being it's just like
a wet hop. A wet hop is pretty much fresh. It's not dried. It's not like a pellet. It's the actual flower itself.
Yeah.
And
but it goes in either of those same two.
Yeah, it comes in different stages, all that kind of stuff, and it just.
Okay, cool.
I think with wet hopping, it's kind of there's a little bit more filtering that needs to be done with filtration, just because.
Right, because you have this whole bud, you have this whole hop,
and it's not going to be like the pellet that turns into a mush. Pretty much, it's after the boil and all that kind of stuff, because it does turn into mush when it's in the boil, because if you're using the dry hopped, either way it turns into this nasty fucking shit that you have to clean off, that I totally despise.
So do you get a lot more sediment and whatnot in like a wet hopped IPA? I guess that all just depends on the filtration, right?
Yeah, it all depends on filtration. You can get sediment in either one, so it just depends on how filtered it is. And sometimes people put clearing agents into their beer to kind of create a little bit of a clarity to it. So like sometimes we've done it to where we've had it's a weird thing to say, but liquefied shrimp shells actually can be used as a clearing agent.
Sure.
And
well, they're basically like nothing though, right?
Yeah. It doesn't add flavor at all.
Very little. Yeah.
It's just used for making beer translucent and kind of getting that clear kind of color to it. With taking out the shellfish allergy, if you somehow have a shellfish allergy, you can actually, there's another thing that I learned about, you can actually use, it's a specific kind of Jello you can use. It's not like the stuff you buy at the store, all that stuff. It's a specific kind of Jello that can be used as a clearing agent.
Is it just a gelatin?
I'm not 100% sure. I haven't done enough research on it. But I was talking to an owner of another brewery when I was out in Ohio, and they told me that's what they use for their clearing agent. So I was like, interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out to Hollow Dungeons.
Dungeon Hollow, not Hollow Dungeons. Jesus
Whatever.
Christ, Duchess. But yeah, that's my little 2 cents on beer. And then let's see, anything else vape related I have on my desk? No, nothing going. So I think it's time for us to finally get into the meat and potatoes of what we're talking about this evening. Of course, we're gonna kind of make some brief mentions of some stuff, just because it's not really
right out of the gate, like urgent, big flashy lights, big flags, urgent.
Yeah, you can do that one.
Call to action. Like right out of the gate, you guys, the nicotine tax that was out of the infrastructure bill, that was taken out of the Build Back Better plan, Biden's Build Back Better plan, is back.
Yeah.
That nicotine tax is back. It no longer affects cigarettes in any way. This is just on nicotine in products like vapor products, in pouches, things like that. Non-pharmaceutical gums, that tax is back. It's about half of the tax that it was previously, but this tax still makes vapor products, your e-liquid, more expensive than cigarettes.
Right.
Just a real quick
let's
let's see.
chat for everybody.
Let's see if I can. I didn't have this pulled up, but I'm just gonna see if I can get to it really quick.
I might be able to get it. Hold on.
This would make the price of a 60 ml bottle of 12 milligram would increase by $20.
Jesus Christ.
A 30 ml bottle of 50 milligrams. So if you're somebody that vapes high milligram salts in like a refillable pod or something like that, you're looking at a jump of more than $40 on that 30 ml bottle.
Ridiculous.
So this is urgent. Please, I'm just going to say it for Corey. I don't care if people leave this stream right now to go do this call to action.
Right.
Corey's got it up in chat. It literally just takes like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
This will take you 2 minutes. Please do it. There's also numbers so you can find and call your representatives, your senators. Please include your story if you have the time. If you don't, and you can just autofill this on your phone and ship it out the door, do it a lot. Don't just do this once, do it a few times. Please, please, please do this call to action, you guys. We don't have a lot of time on this. I don't have like an exact time frame, but this is like urgent. This is like the clock is ticking right now. Like, do this call to action.
Durbin's the one that introduced it again, didn't he?
I don't know for sure, but it's pretty likely.
Yeah,
that's where my hunch is at. I don't have an exact answer, but if I was a gambling man, I'd bet it was Durbin.
Because Dick's a fucking pile of garbage.
Because Dick.
Yeah, just because Dick. He's a.
So. That's it. To everybody who's done it. Jeremy V says did the call to action right before the stream started. Thank you,
awesome.
Jeremy V.
Very
Setting
cool.
an example for everyone. Please, you guys, do this call to action. That's it. That's all I can. Just do it.
Cool. So, like it says in the title here, we wanted to kind of give people a little bit updates on these MDOs, because there's been a lot more stuff happening, and it's kind of on like the side of more on like the judicial side of things, to where me and Logan's understanding of it really isn't the greatest of the behind the scenes stuff after.
No, there's a whole lot of legal jargon going on right now that is well above my level of expertise. And thank God that we have people like Jim and Julie over at CASA who are excellent at things like this and understanding it, and they do a pretty good job at breaking it down for layman's like me. But
so if you don't know what we're talking about, people, a bunch of companies were denied their PMTAs, and they have filed MDOs like through
the MDOs are what they received.
Oh yeah,
from
they got the MDOs, and they filed for,
which is a marketing denial order,
and they've all filed for stays, pretty much. Yeah,
they've
an appeals
filed,
on it, and then
filed for an appeal, filed for a stay. Yeah,
and then so here's the link. Jim McDonald's been updating it pretty frequently, and this is the blanket kind of platform of like who's been filing and who's gotten updates. He's just been going ham on making sure this kind of list of companies that have gotten their denial orders have seen improvements and all that stuff. And you see things like with right here, the newest one is on November 1st, the FDA announced that it's stayed Avail Vapors MDO while it completes an administration review of the order. So there's plenty of other companies that have gotten like these appeals.
I believe we talked about Triton's
Triton
stay
got
on
a
our
stay.
last show. I believe we've talked about Turning Point Brands and their appeal and their stay. A few of those are slightly different depending on which circuit, or whether it's through FDA or through the Court of Appeals. But yeah.
Let's see, there's one from the 22nd where Poonsauce moved. They pretty much rescinded their MDO and moved their products back into the scientific review state. And then we got Grip'em, who on the 19th the court temporarily stayed them. Also, we got My Vape Order on the 18th got their stay.
A lot of these are going to be, they're basically going to be a stay, like a temporary stay, while the court decides on their stay.
Right.
So for people who are following, those court processes can take a while. So for the court to decide whether or not they're going to issue a stay, the court will issue a temporary stay in the meantime, leading up to their decision on whether or not they're going to grant a full stay. So some of these are going to be essentially just that. It's just like, hey, we haven't had time to make a full decision, so we're going to give you this little temporary leeway until we make a full decision.
Right. So it's just like it's a temporary decision before an actual decision's made, kind
Right.
of thing.
It's a stay for a stay.
Yeah. So we're finding things that are all these MDOs. A lot of MDOs are fighting through. So if you're still a company, I believe they only had a month until after they got their MDO to
That
file.
is through FDA.
Okay.
So a lot of these are going through the Court of Appeals, which is different.
Okay.
I don't believe that 30-day window applies.
So
That 30-day window, my understanding is that's from FDA directly, for you to appeal to FDA directly.
right. No, Gregory, it's usually the same time, I think.
No, Corey and I we used to go live at, 8
Yeah.
my time? Now we go live at 7 p.m. East Coast?
Yeah, just to make it a little bit easier on both of our schedules and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But if you want to kind of bookmark that link, Jim's updating all the time. Our good friend, Mr. Jim McDonald, the writer and editor of vaping, I would like to call him.
Yeah.
Because he's probably the only person out there that's just strictly doing articles on vaping. You have some of them where you see it on different kind of blogs.
Yeah, there are
articles and all
definitely
that stuff.
a lot of great blogs out there. Another great journalist covering this space is Alex Norsha from Filter.
Yeah.
But even Alex will write other things as well. His main focus is definitely on this space right now. But yeah, dude, Jim is not only on the board of CASA and boon to all of us, but yeah, his focus is solely on vaping, safer nicotine products.
Mm-hmm. His goal in life is to make sure this information is out there for everybody to see. So if you haven't actually gone to vaping360.com and actually bookmarked their news section, you need to do so because it's updated almost every single day with new stuff. And it makes sure that we're up to date. I'm checking on it at least once a day just to see if there's anything new. Because normally there is. And then it kind of gives us...
Oh yeah, Jim's putting out 3 to 4 articles a week right now.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Or at least updating them and things like that.
Yeah, so if we find out more information on the status of these MDOs with those stays being in there, if maybe something happened with the stay got approved, and so their temporary stay is more of a actual stay now, we'll let you guys know about this, and if anything more comes from it, we will make sure to have you guys in the loop about it as well. But I just want to make a quick mention of that. And now we're going to kind of move over a little bit from getting out of the U.S. for a little bit. A lot of this today's show, we're going to be talking about things not going on in the U.S. just because not much is going on. We've had a few things here or there. Most of it's just these stays. And then now we have that nicotine tax that kind of went through again. So that's pretty much what the U.S.'s focus is right now. But there's a lot of other stuff happening around the world that I feel
I'm sure at the end of the show, if everybody sticks around, there are some smaller locality calls to action and heads up that Corey and I will go through as well.
Yeah. So, but we're going to go all the way to our good friends over in Malaysia, which I think the Malaysian vape scene is massive.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
When you're going to countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, they have a really big vape scene over there.
And a lot of high end.
Yeah. When it comes
for those hemo folks out there.
Remember the high-end mech mods and stuff and all
from the Philippines.
Yeah,
yes.
The Philippines and Indonesia, and then a lot of these kind of these higher end kind of mods coming out of there. So it's really cool to see stuff happening. With what's going on in Malaysia right now, it's kind of a double-edged sword a little bit, and we'll get into why. Because Malaysia is finally going to legalize and put a tax out on nicotine vaping, which is a fantastic thing because we just found out that Hong Kong, probably almost a sister country to them, pretty close, is pretty much doing a full-on prohibition on vaping over there.
Yeah, so, all vapor products.
All vapor products are no. So when it's because we're going to talk about this really quick, but then there's an update to it, which in this article I'm reading right now, they weren't sure what the actual nicotine tax was going to be. We finally found out what that tax is going to be and when it's going to be implemented as well. So let's see right here. Actually, I'll throw the link in the chat for you guys. You guys can follow along if you want to, or you can just sit here and listen to us. So there's the
Love
link
you too,
right
Jay.
there. So on one of the world's largest vaping markets will finally include legal nicotine when the Malaysian government formalizes its plan to regulate and tax vaping
Sorry,
products.
you guys. My cat's just like licking her ass
Yeah.
behind me.
Whatever. She's just doing her thing.
Just nudge her.
Fucking cat. Are we good?
Like cats are gonna do cat things, but
Yeah.
I don't think everybody wants to sit
You
here
just-
and like
just
watch my cat lick
Licking
her
her
ass.
crotch. So
She's just keeping herself. Jay's got a pillow.
Just gonna censor this.
Okay, perfect. Carry on.
So, if you guys didn't know, before all this was regulated and all that stuff and put into action, Malaysia had and nicotine vaping was actually illegal at one point. Well,
Oh.
now multiple Malaysian news networks are reporting today, which would have been, I believe, the 29th, so day before Halloween, that the government has included an excise tax on nicotine and e-liquid on a budget proposal for the 2022. The decision was announced by the finance minister. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I'm just going to botch it. And then, so like right here, it says there's no detail yet available on how regulation and taxes will be implemented. And then October 26th, the health minister informed the World Health Organization that Malaysia would regulate vaping products to prevent youth access. And the decision confirmed in a tweet by the Coalition of Asia Pacific Harm Reduction Advocates, which congratulated Malaysian vaping advocates on their hard work in getting past the post. So it's good news. There's gonna pretty much before we go into that, we found out that vaping in Malaysia is going to be be regulated, and they're going to be put. And we thought there's possibly a reasonable tax they'll add to it. We always, I mean, when it comes to taxes, we're not against them as long as they're reasonable and not stupid outrageous like the nicotine one we're going to be getting here in the States.
Right. It's like you said earlier, it's a double-edged sword. A tax legitimizes the product in the eyes of not only the average consumer, but legislators as well. It legitimizes the industry in Malaysia, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, right? Like taxing a product that's saving lives seems counterproductive.
Right.
When these products should be as affordable and as accessible to people as possible, given that the majority of people who do smoke are low income already. Right. So taxing low income people for choosing something that's safer, that isn't going to kill them, is counterproductive, but it also legitimizes industry, raises revenue, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, double-edged sword.
And seeing Malaysia do this is kind of crazy because it says right here, it's like, it's a rare exception to where anywhere in Southeast Asia where vape bans and nicotine bans are very, very common out there. Yeah. Like you see freaking people get like full on like drug busts happening out there where they make it seem like they're like seizing cocaine and freaking heroin and all that stuff when it's just
and they lay all the Rick and Morty disposables out on the table,
or it's bottles of Jam Monster,
fan out the $20 bills. Yeah, it's gross. Yeah,
but kind of showing a little bit of where that more of that double-edged sword part comes in. We found out what the tax would probably be, and it's a little, if you're not aware, because obviously you have to look at how their dollar is different than ours, so it's going to be different when it comes to things. So right here, Jim put out a post like was it 2 days ago after he found out all that stuff. So I'll let you put that in chat for everybody if you want to follow along as well. I'm going to go back to the page. There we go. So the excitement of last week's news that Malaysia intends to legalize nicotine vaping has been dampened by the details of the finance ministry's plan. The government is proposing a tax rate so high it would have significant unintended consequences. So the e-liquid tax rate included in the government's 2022 budget is 1.2 Malaysian ringgits per milliliter. So a ringgit RM is the equivalent to 24 US cents. So RM 1.2 is equal to 0.29 milliliters, 3 times the current RM.4 tax on zero nicotine vape juice. The tax is set to take effect January 1st, even though Malaysian law currently prohibits non-prescription nicotine sales.
Is that essentially 30 cents per mil? 29 or so cents per mil?
Yeah.
Is that what you just read out?
Yeah, so 29 cents per mil.
Wow.
Now, the proposed rate would mean the tax of 72 RM on a 60 ml bottle of e-liquid would be around $17 US on a nicotine tax for a 60 ml bottle. And it's it's pretty damn close to the tax we'd be getting here. Pretty damn close. So
that is a steep tax. And here's the other side of excessive taxes on products. And if anyone out there is familiar with the cannabis industry, then you already know what I'm going to tell you, that overtaxing these products is going to do absolutely nothing to stop or slow down or make an illicit market any safer. There are still going to be plenty of people who are just going to still import, sell illegal products, are going to mix, are going to do whatever, which there's nothing wrong with mixing, right? I'm 100% behind DIY, love the DIY community. But there are folks out there, and there are people out there who will take advantage of this and who may not put the same time, effort, and quality into the products as seasoned DIYers will, because they just want to turn a quick buck, and it doesn't make the product safer for everyone out there. So there's just another double-edged sword kind of point to why these excessive taxes are not good.
yeah, so, and it's kind of crazy because, like I said before, it's a $17 tax practically in U.S. dollars, and such a high tax would prevent many vapors from purchasing legal e-liquid brands and instead force them to continue buying on the black market. In addition, the encouraging and already thriving illicit markets, such an extreme vape tax would dissuade people who smoke from switch to vaping, which it sucks when that has happened, because if there's anything that's gonna be a damper on people making the switch, it's gonna see how expensive it is. And like Logan said before, people that are usually smoking are usually in low incoming housing, to where
I mean, the people who smoke are just low income. I mean, at this point, that's who smokes.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you could see
the vast majority anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have people who won't be able to afford to go through their new legitimate legal market because it's just far too expensive for them. They will then have to turn to the unregulated market, which Malaysia has been for the longest time. But yeah, if Malaysia thinks that they are going to, raise all, here's the biggest thing, that this is that cognitive dissonance that I don't understand with lawmakers anywhere. They go, okay, we're going to legalize this thing, but we need to, make the biggest bang for our buck off of this. So we're going to tax it, put a huge tax on it so we can raise all of this money. But then people can't afford to buy the legitimate product anyway. So the government misses out on these taxes. If they were to implement a reasonable, affordable tax that low income folks and people who smoke would be all right with buying and paying, they would see more income, more revenue from that lower tax, because people are going to shop through the legitimate market that way. I don't understand, dude. It's the same thing here in the US. It's the same thing all over the place. I just don't understand how that dissonance happens, where they go, okay, we'll tax the shit out of it, so we'll make all this money. And then they go, well, we didn't make enough money even though we taxed the shit out of it. Yeah, because no one shopped, right? No one bought it. Everybody just kept doing the cheaper, more affordable thing they were doing before.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, if they would have made a reasonable tax on this, like in the US, if there would have been a reasonable tax to where it made it effective for people that have low income to be able to afford this stuff, you probably could have seen the outcome of your high tax thing and people still buying it, possibly been a really close equivalent to that, because you make it affordable, you're going to get more people to get the switch, and just it would balance out in the end. That's what I completely agree with you on. Like, I don't understand it either.
Yeah, it just kind of boggles my mind. And the only thing that I come to the conclusion of is big money sounds better to them.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, they don't care about consumers.
No, they don't care about the health of the public.
They don't. Yeah, they don't. It's not the top of their priority. The top of their priority is revenue.
Mm-hmm.
And so they see big money, they see big dollar signs, big taxes, and they sign on. They say, okay, if we're going to legitimize this, if we're going to legalize this, then, you know, we're going to put big dollar signs on it. And that's what they see. They don't see the people. They don't see the bigger picture. And they don't understand that folks can't afford to pay those taxes. So they'll go through the illicit market. And I don't know what other laws are like in Malaysia, or if there are criminal penalties that people can face through that illicit market, but that also creates more revenue for the government that way.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, they don't really care about your health. They don't really care about, you know, people who smoke. They care about their revenue.
Right, and it's just a shitty thing because it takes just a simple thing to where it's like you can still tax this stuff and still make money off of it. You can.
Yeah.
At least see it with all kinds of different products around the world.
Sure.
And it's just like they're on their such high horse about things to where it's like it's my money and I want it now kind of situation. That's why they put in the big, because it's like they expect that.
They expect that big return, but
Yeah,
when nobody can afford it, and they go, well, we didn't make all the money we thought we were going to make. Well, no shit, man.
It's like somebody come out with the cars like this is specifically for these low affordable, well-working cars, but you make the price on it fucking insane to where it's like we made an affordable car for these people. Why aren't they buying it? Because you didn't make it actually affordable. And it's asinine. So with that being that double-edged sword kind of situation with the Malaysian thing, I'm happy that they had this thing happen to where it's now going to be regulated. It was going to be taxed. So knowing that once something, like how Logan said, once something's taxed, it's been regulated by the government to where we're going to allow people to purchase this stuff because we're just going to put a tax on it. But then they came out with this stupid freaking $17 US equivalent tax on it. And now they're going to be in the same troubles as the U.S. almost pretty close now. Where I know they're working on it because it even says right here the MVIA, the Malaysian Vape Industry Advocacy Organization, the president actually quoted, he put it out to the New Straits Times that the increase in tax will make vape products more expensive than tobacco cigarettes in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Which is just asinine. They're making you spend more money on something that's not at least 95% healthy for you.
Yeah. Taxing low-income people for improving their health is heinous. It's just so backwards.
Yeah, so it's like, let's see. The current Malaysian prohibition.
But it
on
is still
sales-
good to see, you know, at the end of the day, it's good to see Malaysia have a legal market. Unfortunately, it will only cater to the wealthy.
Right. I'm looking right here, seeing things else we missed. The current Malaysian prohibition on sales of nicotine-containing liquid is widely ignored. According to some recent estimates, illegal products make up to 80% of the existing market. You know what I would say if I was the government? That's a whole lot of money we're not getting. And if you would have just made legal and efficient taxes on it, all that 80% that you're not getting could be some income that you guys are getting. It may not be the massive freaking $17 per fucking bottle that you're looking for.
It's not how it works though, right? Like if you only get one person who buys, you made $17.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to say have a $4 tax, and now you have 50 people who buy, you just made $200.
Right.
Because it's more accessible, because it's more affordable, more people will go that route and you will make more money. So I just don't understand how, like, if it was revenue, like this is basic economics, basic math. Like if their only goal was revenue, you would think they would understand that.
Right.
Or do they want to legitimize this market to make whatever money they can off of it while keeping cigarettes cheaper to continue to make as much money as possible off of smoking and off of that, whatever their healthcare system looks like in Malaysia.
Yeah,
so I don't know. That's a little tinfoil hatty, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, it makes sense. So that's everything going on in Malaysia right now. If anybody knows any mod makers or companies out there that are donating to the advocacy groups out there, because they probably need it right now, because this is something that they need to fight for like crazy. They're in the same boat as we are. It's like they need to fight against a major fucking tax over there. So if you have any companies that you can support that are donating to these advocacy groups, go ahead and do it. Whoa, hiccup. Go ahead and do it, because they need it too. So
I was really hoping you were going to sneeze finally.
No, it was just a hiccup. I think the sneeze went away. But we're going to move on to our good friends over in the US, over in the UK. Logan talked about this on the Casa stream on Saturday. If you guys didn't watch it already, I wanted to kind of have him mention it again, because it's just really cool to see. And it's just, there's definitely, I like the idea of it, because when me and Logan were talking, there's some other stuff about it to where I hope it doesn't get to that point, and I'll just let you take the lead on this one with what's happening in the UK with this, because the National Health Service is now willing to pay for prescription vapes.
Well, there's a proposal for it, yeah.
Okay.
So it would be through the National Health Service. So this would be free. This would be free for people who smoke as a form of smoking cessation, alongside all of the other tools in the toolbox. Alongside gums and patches and things like that. So basically there's a proposal to let NHS kind of open the gates for manufacturers to go through essentially their FDA equivalent process of a PMTA, but like for a drug. I don't know what that's called here. It's not an MRTP, which is a modified risk tobacco product. Whatever that drug approval process through the FDA is called, that's essentially the equivalent here,
Right.
But for the UK. This doesn't change the consumer market, but what this would do is if a manufacturer were to get an e-cigarette, a vapor product through, then National Health Services would be able to allow their practitioners, their doctors, to prescribe that e-cigarette to people trying to quit smoking. Which is great for people who can't afford in the UK to walk into a vape shop and buy a $40, $50, $60 starter kit and e-liquid and give it a go and that whole nine. For those folks who can't afford that, this is a huge deal. This is a free prescription model e-cigarette for you to take home to try to quit smoking with. And I think that's a fantastic thing. Mm-hmm. I worry, which this is a weird thing to say, but given if this goes through and this is wildly successful, which I hope it is I worry that the UK will lean more into a prescription model and less of a consumer model, which would not be good. Right. Having a prescription model alongside the current consumer model is the most ideal. Allowing people to still walk into a vape shop, find their own products, buy what they need, shop, do their thing, that is fantastic, while also having a legitimate product for people who A, can't afford it, or B, for people who are, worried about walking into a vape shop. They don't know whether they can trust these products. They have concerns. They want something from their doctor. They want something prescribed to them. They want a doctor to tell them, yes, here's the thing I'm going to give you to try to help you quit smoking. A lot of people have that worry, and they want that reassurance from their practitioner for that. And this is also a really great way for them to go about that. So this is a really good thing. I just have worries about the direction down the road that the UK may go in, and I hope they don't.
I mean, with how Public Health England's stance is on everything.
Yeah, I don't have big worries.
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of we need to make sure, or at least the UK needs to make sure, that they keep their legislators well informed to both of these models coexisting being the most ideal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it makes sense. You don't want it to go to a fully prescription-based system because
No, I mean, you'd be looking at Australia,
yeah, it would be
which we know is just a
it's a shit show over there. With
shit show.
with the
Yeah,
prescription thing
exactly.
over there.
I don't think, even if the UK went full prescription, I don't think it would be as bad as Australia is currently.
Right.
But it's still something that we absolutely don't want to see. But
Oh, 100%.
side by side, these two models coexisting is a beautiful thing for people who smoke.
Yeah, it would be a great impact to public health out there.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Because then you can pretty
The
much
downside to this is that process is also wildly expensive. Just like trying to get a drug approved here in the US, trying to get something approved as a drug in the UK is not cheap. So manufacturers have a lot of expensive hurdles to get through in order to get something approved. And unfortunately, a lot of smaller independent vapor companies are not going to have the ability, the money, the finances, the resources to get through this process. But guess who does? Tobacco companies.
Yeah. They'll be able to come
And
out
so
with a
this
vapor
is,
product.
I know I would have to find the article on who it was. I can tell you. Give me just a second here. Corey, what are your thoughts on this?
It's like you said, it's a very, very, like in a perfect world, having those two things coexist would be perfect. Because you would have those people that, like you said before, aren't comfortable going into a vape shop because they don't want to spend the money on something that they don't know if will work. Which I completely understand. That kind of deteriorates a lot of people sometimes from going into vape shops here in the U.S. But
sure, that upfront cost, that upfront investment has
scared the living
been
hell
a
out of
deterrent
people
for so many people for so long, especially if you don't know if you're going to like the product you buy or not.
Because nobody wants to spend
absolutely.
something that ends up not working for them. Because nobody likes to waste money. Nobody.
Right.
So having it be a situation where those people that are comfortable going into a shop, still going in there to buy the liquid and have it be available, those can do it, but those people that are uncomfortable can go to their doctor and say, give them their kind of situation. I'm uncomfortable with buying something that I don't know if it's going to work for me. What can be done? And like how you said, a lot of these smaller mom and pop kind of situations wouldn't be able to go through that filing process of being one of those companies that the doctors recommend, where some of these bigger ones can, or like you said, big tobacco can come out with a vapor product. We've seen it happen already. They're coming out with products already. They're kind of coming with the times, which about damn time. And if a big tobacco product is something that they can pay for and get approved for, the medical teams over in the UK can prescribe it to them, they're still protecting the interest of public health over there then, even though their main product that they originally started with was starting all the problems to begin with. At least they're going with the times and realizing we need to kind of get with what's going on and come out with a safer alternative as well, because that's what people are looking for. So having those bigger companies being able to afford that process and have that stuff available to them, so the people who are uncomfortable to go to a vape shop, I think is ideal, because you, at that point, you will be able to please every person practically that's looking to make the switch. And I think that's what they're looking for. If they're trying to be smoke free by I forgot what year they did it, but they were planning on being smoke free by like
2030,
2030 or 20,
I
around there,
believe.
something like that. Where if
goal?
these two things can work side by side, that idea, that thing that they want to do to be smoke free by 2030, is so much closer to coming to fruition, and that would be a beautiful thing to see, beautiful thing. And I think all of us here in the U.S. can, hopefully, we'll live a day. I probably doubt that it'll be in any of our lifetimes, but it may take years and years and years. But hopefully to see us smoke-free America. I would love to see that. Have this product available. Have the different products available where you don't need combustion anymore. You have so many different, like snus, pouches, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't.
Not having any luck finding.
I don't know where this article is. Don't quote me, but I believe it was David Sweener. who basically went on to say that, yes, this is going to be really challenging for independent vapor companies to get through, and most likely most of them will not be able to, if any of them will be able to. But I believe he also said that he would urge the government to not allow incumbent tobacco companies to have vapor products get through, something along those lines. Don't quote me because I don't have the article, and I believe it was David Sweener, but I could be wrong. I'll find the article and I'll post it somewhere, I promise. It exists, but there's this weird, like, so then what's left kind of question that I got at the end. Like, if independent vapor manufacturers can't afford to go through this process, but we don't want incumbent tobacco companies who can afford to go through this process to be allowed to.
That, to me, that makes no sense.
What's left?
Like, you're just pretty much saying, like,
is Mopar gonna start making vapes? Like, who's left? I gotta find that article. If I do, I'll find it. I'll post it like here in the comments or something like that.
Yeah, let me know. I'll throw it in the description too if you need me to.
Because again, guys, don't quote me because I can't remember if it was David or not who said it in exactly the verbiage that he put it in, but that's kind of the idea. And I just went, what?
Because it's stupid. That's, to me, that makes no sense. Absolutely no sense.
I think personally, if no one can afford to get through your process, then the process is broken.
Yeah, it's a flawed process. You need to
It's
go back to the drawing board.
We need to go back to the drawing board. What's the point of having a process if no one can afford it, but the people that we don't want to afford it? It makes no sense. So A, it's broken right out of the gate. If that process is going to stay, then you cannot disallow the people who, again, incumbent tobacco companies, created the current problem that we're in. We can't disallow them from participating in the solution.
And if it wasn't for these incumbent tobacco companies, there wouldn't be a movement of a safer alternative out there. If it wasn't for the cigarette industry or the tobacco industry,
if it wasn't for all these millions of people dying,
it's a scary thing to fucking say, but it's true.
Like, what if smoking was safe?
It's a hard truth to swallow, but it is.
So it's just one of those things where I just, this is where academics and me, I look at some academics and I'm like, you're so smart, but what? Like, how do you not see how asinine that idea is?
Right. Unless they have some kind of different alternative that they didn't mention in the article.
Look, if somebody could give me a viable alternative to just having nothing, then okay,
yeah, I'm willing to listen.
Ears.
But if you're just going to kind of...
If we're going to say that all the independent vape manufacturers will not be able to afford this process, and we don't want to allow tobacco companies to do it, again, what's left? What's the whole point of this? If no one can do it or no one's allowed, what are we even talking about then? I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to find that article once we get all done tonight, and I'll share it to Corey, and Corey can post it all over the place in here for you guys to read. And I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, so it's, like I said before we started the show, there's a lot of stuff going on between Malaysia, the U.S., UK's making moves for different things. So with it being like the quiet months that it has been when it comes to legislation, there's small little things happening which we want to keep you guys updated about. We're kind of running towards the end here, ladies and gentlemen. So before we usually end this, we like going through, let's see, I don't repeat myself. Our good friends over CASA, of course, if you haven't been on CASA yet, CASA.org. It's a great platform. Have it bookmarked. They're great people, great organization that are doing fantastic things for the U.S. market. Consumer-ran, consumer-funded practically. If you're not on CASA's website right there, throw it in chat. Bookmark it, because we're about to go through some of the little, of course, they have resources, they have testimonials you can do. We always urge, I know me, Logan, Nick, Grim Green always urges to do testimonials on CASA's website. Do it.
Yeah, we currently have over 13,000 testimonies at CASA, so
let's see if there's been a new one. Yep. Oh, we did get a couple new ones. Holy crap. We got whoa. We got a few in the month of October. I think we can read a testimonial today.
Do it. Let's do some current CTAs first, though.
Yeah,
Besides
but before we get to
nicotine
testimonials,
tax.
they have their Get Involved kind of section where you can find out what's going on nationally, which the update for the national nicotine tax will be updated on there soon. I believe they just updated the original one that was introduced on Casa's website on the 14th. I'm not sure if they did update that. Oh yeah, see, urgent update right there.
The nicotine tax call to action was updated just a few hours ago.
Right.
I was there while we were doing it.
But there is also a state and local section to where you can find out. There's a big map of the U.S. You can click on whatever state you're located in, and they'll tell you if there's any call to actions available in the state you live in. So right now has been pretty quiet within the state and local level, but we do got one. We got one here from Portland, Maine. They have a flavor ban in the works. That, let's see, Portland City Council is moving forward on the proposal to ban the sales on flavored vapor and tobacco products. The ordinance is expecting to be introduced Tuesday, November 9th. So remove HHS and public safety remote HHS and public safety meeting. So it'll be like a Zoom call or kind of
It'll
like
be a
that.
virtual.
Yeah, so, and it's saying it's gonna be at 5:30. So there's the call to action on there. If you're in Portland, Maine, if you're anywhere on the East Coast, because East Coast always kind of sucks when it comes to vaping legislation. It's sorry to say, because Logan knows firsthand. Vaping legislation on the East Coast fucking blows.
Yeah.
So if you're in Portland, Maine, do that call to action. If you're anywhere near Portland, Maine, or near Maine in general, because Portland, I think, is one of probably their biggest city.
I'm not familiar enough with Maine to tell you.
So if one of their major cities does it, who knows, it might eventually spread to going through a statewide kind of situation, which we don't want that, because...
And that right there is one of those campaign for tobacco-free kid, truth initiative, yada, 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 playbook tactics.
Yep.
To start very local and create a dysfunctional patchwork of legislation throughout a state. So that way they can take it to the state after they've created this dysfunctional network of legislation and say, hey, state of Maine, look at this dysfunctional patchwork of legislation. We need state laws across the board to fix this. The problem they created.
Right.
That's right out of the playbook, man. So yeah, if for those people out there who go, oh, well, even if it happens here, I'll just head over to the next county. I'll just head over to the next city. Could very well be that city next. And
it's not always going to be at
the more that happens,
simple.
The easier it is to take it to the state.
Right. The more little small municipalities and all small little kind of things getting it done, you have more of a kind of a fight to bring it to the statewide level, and we don't want that. We don't want to lose the entire East Coast.
You gotta nip it in the bud in those little localities.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're in Portland, Maine, make sure to do that call to action. Get a hold of your local representatives around the area. Let's see. Doesn't say. Just gotta go on their website and find out who your local representative is in that area.
In CASA's resources, we have a Find Your Reps.
There you go.
Link as well. Super easy to use.
Yep.
You just type in, I believe you just type in your zip code, and boom, it'll tell you who your representatives, who your senators are, the whole nine.
Yep, right there, black and white, more blue and white.
Blue and teal and green and white.
A lot of colors, yeah. But so make sure you're doing that call to action. And now we're going to move over to something that everybody here should be doing, because it's great. And let's go down to the testimonials. Let's see who we're going to talk about this evening.
I'll just let you do one this week, Corey.
Let's see.
Just because I don't have it all pulled up right now.
Here we go.
Paul, it is not morning, sir.
Actually,
it is for Paul.
There we go. This guy didn't put his name. He just put the name as Saved by Vaping, which, if he wants to keep his name a secret, he's more than welcome to. So, what this person says was, I smoked cigarettes for 26 years. Started when I was 16. and the constant increase in prices didn't prevent me from smoking as a minor. Started vaping in August of 2020, continued smoking and vaping until February of 2021, when I gave up cigarettes and have been combustion-free since then. I tried quitting smoking cold turkey, but the only lasted a couple months. The sensation of inhaling and exhaling was just as addictive as the chemicals combustible cigarettes do in combustible cigarettes to me. So vaping has filled that part of what's kept me smoking. Started vaping fruity flavors and have recently been vaping desserts and bakery flavors. I don't vape a lot of tobacco flavors. If I want to taste tobacco, then I would continue to smoke tobacco.
Sure.
Awesome.
Well done,
Saved by
anonymous testimony sender.
Yeah.
This year, in 2021, amongst all of this chaos and all of this misinformation, this person managed, and in the middle of a pandemic,
Could be
with
completely
vape shops
combustion-free.
closing left and right, all of this going on, this person managed to quit smoking with these products. If they can do it, given all those hurdles and all those obstacles and all those deterrents, shit, anybody can do it.
Damn
So
right.
good on you. Good on you. Congratulations. Your lungs thank you.
Congratulations.
The rest of your body, all of your organs, including your skin, thanks you.
I'm really curious how, since February's been, how I want to see if he can eventually that person can put an update on how his body is kind of starting to feel better, because it's been since February, and he posted this in October. Kind of want to know of what your body's been
Yeah,
doing.
that's what,
to-
8 months?
Yeah, there's probably a shit ton of things that have happened to his
Smell,
body.
everything. Your breathing's better.
taste.
Your heart is better.
Who knows? He might be going on and exercising more because he's able to, if the person does that.
Sure.
The,
Yeah.
the door to potential of what could happen with this person's life has just opened, and we're
Yeah.
completely happy for them. So remember, guys, if you want to hear a testimonial that will be read off by either me or Logan, you can either post it on CASA and just tell us that you did, and we'll make sure to search for it, or you can send it to me and Logan ourselves. You can send it to us through Instagram, Twitter, you name it. We'll make sure it's there, and we'll read it on this here show. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much what we have for you guys this evening. So I want to say thank you
Yeah,
to
man,
everyone.
it's like right on the hour right now.
I think it's because
Boom.
we've gotten so on like the vibe of just doing an hour
Dude,
long
we're
show.
so efficient.
We just stick to like the beginnings may be off topic a little bit. We talked about beer for a good like 5-10 minutes, but that's fine.
Well, that's okay. You educated not only me, but all of the viewers here as well
Yeah.
on the difference between dry and wet hopping
Yeah.
and what that process is like. So thank you for that knowledge.
Yes. So that's pretty much what we have for you guys this evening. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Paul, it's good to see you. Go back to sleep. Or is it morning over there? No, it's afternoon over there.
I don't know. He said good morning.
Well,
and then he said, well, it is here. So good morning, Paul.
If you're
I
up
hope
early,
you are
Paul,
well, sir.
go back to sleep.
Yeah, I mean, you can post more than one testimonial.
Yeah, but if you want to send it to me,
Please
then me or
don't
Lo-
like just spam though, like the same testimonial, like
Mhm.
your story like 1,000 times just to inflate our numbers. Like that's not something that we really want either. We really truly want individual testimonies. But if you, say you quit smoking years ago with a safer nicotine product, and you'd like to let us know, I guess, how you're doing, what that's like now. Sure. Share that.
Yeah,
Share
we're
that
more
on
than willing
social
to
media.
share that as
Share
well.
your story. Continue to. But yeah, guys, please don't just like for the sake of inflating numbers, share your testimony a whole bunch of times. It's not a good look for CASA as a professional organization,
Right.
to have people just trying to arbitrarily, inflate numbers for us. That's not a good look on us. So please don't do that. But sure, if you really wanted to share your, 5-year update on how your last, lung test and lung function test went and things like this, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, I would say absolutely.
Yeah, so pretty much that is what we guys have for you. What we guys have. I don't know English that well.
Hey, it's still fine.
Yeah. That is all we have for you guys today. So I want to thank everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are amazing. If you haven't already, hit that like button. It would help us out a lot. And of course, you can always tune in bi-weekly to hear what we have to say. Us ramble, us talk about random shit, have us get a little bit angry sometimes, but we're still going to be doing this no matter what bullshit kind of comes through. We're going to talk about it and make sure you guys are informed as much as possibly you guys can be. So other than that, that's what we have today. So thank you again, everybody, for hanging out. I'm gonna, like always, end it, or have Logan do it for me, do his usual kind of ending segment thingy that he always does during his come downs and all that stuff.
You want me to?
We'll let you take the reins on it.
Ooh, I get the reins. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, much love to all of you guys out there. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We greatly appreciate you. Stay safe, everybody. Stay cloudy. Be excellent to each other, and we'll see you next time.
See ya. Fucking Duchess.